Don't forget to like and subscribe. Welcome back to Manage It Monday, your midday motivation to optimize your food safety strategies and elevate your business operations with Rochelle Howell. Hey everyone, happy Monday. Welcome back to another Manage It Monday. As you know, Monday is the perfect day to manage things behind the scenes. And today we're talking about a test to see if you should stay open for business or should you be shut down. What is this test, you ask? It's your health inspection. Now, if you are a manufacturer, you may call it a regulatory visit, or if you are in another country, it may be something totally different. So, whatever you call it, it usually brings up some serious feelings. So, drop an emoji in the comments if you've ever felt nervous about an inspection. Were you prepared or just hoping for the best? Well, guess what? You aren't alone. Most food businesses panic when an inspector walks in, even when they are prepared. As a former county inspector, I remember some amazing welcomes, and I also remember the times I was refused entry at the door. But I had to tell those retail establishments that I was coming in alone or with a police escort because I had some food policing to do. And I was serious about making sure the food that they were selling was safe and that they could stay open another day. Now, I had some great restaurants and I had some that I would never eat at in life. But one thing most of them had in common, when I walked in the door, they scrambled to clean up, find records, and pray that they didn't have violations. Some did it with a smile, asking, "Oh, where have you been? We've been ready for you." And others were straight up upset. They were ready to fight because they were not pre warned. And I know why. I know because failed inspections are embarrassing. They lead to major violations, fines, closures, warning letters, reputation damage, and they can be a social media influencer's dream. But the good news, you can stay ready so you never have to get ready. That's what today's session is all about, creating a game plan for health inspection success. Here are my three stages of inspection and what you can do to be prepared. Number one, pre-inspection. This is the preparation before the inspection. This is the time where you are building your food safety management system. This is what we're talking about every week. You are making sure protocols are in place to operate safely and that everyone knows what to do. This stage starts before you even open your doors and involves ensuring your facilities are adequate, that you have appropriate permits and licensing, and that your equipment is working, your procedures are written, and your pest sanitation and waste services are established, amongst some of the other things. Make sure during this stage that you train your team. Your employees should know the basics of food safety, especially time and temperature control, personal hygiene and cleaning procedures, and many regulatory departments require certain training and certifications based on your roles and responsibilities. So make sure you have trained people and you have them on the shift. I recommend also posting their certifications on the wall so they don't get lost. You can easily see the expiration date and you can let the people who are certified know you are so proud of the knowledge that they have. Keep your records up to date. Inspectors will check logs like temperature checks, cleaning schedules, pest control records, and employee health policies, Hep A shots, all types of things. Your logs should be easily accessible by the team needing to record them. If they have to search for a log to write down what temperature they cooked the steak, guess what? It's probably not going to get written down. Make your logs easy to locate and simple to use. And then make sure you scan them to a computer so that when the inspector shows up, you won't have to run around trying to find them. You won't have that, crazy, panicky reaction. Conduct surprise self-inspections. We mentioned all this training that your team gets, but you have to make sure they act on their knowledge. Self-audits and third-party audits can help you evaluate your team's performance. These mock inspections help you catch small mistakes now, preventing major issues later. So you can conduct quick daily, weekly self-audits or hire a third party like me and my team to pop up at random once a quarter for an assessment and, make sure everything's going well. And then we can train. Number 2, what to do during an inspection. First of all, let the inspector in and don't make a scene. We know you all like us to wait while you alert everyone in the back. Just know that the longer we wait, the more we expect you to get right because, what else were you doing? Stay calm and professional. The inspector is not your enemy. They are doing their job and really just want to make sure everything is safe. Walk with the inspector and take notes on any concerns they point out. Once they introduce themselves, grab a notebook and a pen. I was always impressed when someone took their own notes to discuss with their team instead of waiting for my written report. Don't rely on what you think I'm writing because I may give you a pass now. I may just be informing you that something is getting worse, but I'll be expecting you to have it corrected during the next visit because guess what? The inspector always remembers. Answer questions directly. Never lie or guess. Ask questions if you aren't sure. Get clarification to ensure you are doing the right thing. It's okay to ask. Be inspection ready every day. The best way to pass an inspection? Operate like you're being inspected every day. You have the system in place, the written procedures, and you currently verify the team is doing what they are supposed to. So stick to this and you'll pass. Keep workstations clean, refresh the Sani bucket regularly, set up and check the 3-compartment sink. Make sure everyone is washing their hands and using gloves when they're supposed to. Keep thermometers on the line. Check food and equipment temperatures often. And then label food as you cook, you cool, you store, and you thaw. And then get that documentation ready to view. Correct what you can during the inspection. If you observe something is not right, correct it immediately. Don't wait for the inspector to see it or for you to think that they didn't see it. Do you know how many times I observed something right in front of that manager and I waited to see if they were going to correct it or say something about it to the person? And guess what? It was unforgivable when they didn't. So keep that in mind. And if the inspector notes something, correct it. You don't have to ask if you can correct it. It's your business. The person in charge should be trained and empowered to ensure the food is safe, no matter who is there. We want to know how you operate and if you are fixing and ensuring things are right when they aren't. So we won't be mad about that unless the place was a mess with many violations when we came in. Then we know you're just doing it to look good. You should be doing it all the time. Or stage 3, your post-inspection strategy. Once the inspector is finished walking around your facility, expect them to sit down for a while and write it up. This does not mean that your inspection is over and that they are not looking. Your inspector is still observing and taking notes. They will then review your inspection with you And when they do, address violations during this time. If you receive a violation, don't panic, just fix it. Talk to your leaders and your team about the inspection, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and create a corrective action plan to fix it and to ensure the issues don't happen again. An inspector may give you time to submit updated procedures. They may want you to hire a pest professional and come up with a plan to remediate some major issues. And they may want to reschedule or schedule a follow up visit. So make sure you know what is required of you before they leave and handle it. Now, prepare for follow up inspections. If one or more re-inspections are required, use the feedback to strengthen your processes. Show improvement and demonstrate a commitment to compliance and excellence. Don't wait until they are due to show up to start making corrections. We could always tell. And if you aren't ready for the follow up visit, be open and honest, but make sure you have a plan. For example, you ordered a new cooler, but it won't arrive for another week or so. Show the inspector what you are doing to ensure the food is held at proper cold holding temperatures in the meantime, and show them the receipt. Progress is good, procrastination is not. And don't forget to post that inspection when it's all over. Most local governments require you post these three things: your license, your last inspection, and your food safety manager certifications, those trainings that say they know what they're doing. All right, now let's review a case study from my time as an inspector. So this inspection took place at a buffet restaurant that, of course, they offered a variety of hot and cold food, including sushi, soups, fried items, and other international dishes. And as a buffet, we know their service model relied on self-service stations where customers could serve themselves. In certain times of the day, they had fewer customers. These non-peak hours where the turnover rate on food was slower than normal, they often had made to order or they had some other things that they should be doing. So during the inspection, I approached the sushi station and of course I took a temperature reading and it was 63. That's well above the required 41 degrees or below for cold foods. So I asked key food safety questions. When was the sushi made? They provided an approximate time. What time was it placed out for service? They had a general idea, but no documentation and no proof. And then, how do you know when it's time to throw it away? They knew there was a thing called time as a control method, but they weren't actively following their procedures and they weren't actually keeping logs. So this wasn't just a record keeping issue, it was a food safety risk. Sushi at 63 degrees sitting out for hours is not okay. It could lead to bacterial growth and potential foodborne illness for their customers. And since they could not prove it had been there less than 4 hours, this was a critical violation of the local food code, and we were going to address it. So these were the corrective actions taken to address the sushi issue. First, we immediately discarded all the sushi that had been sitting out. We then verified that all the remaining sushi in the cooler was at safe temperatures, and they replaced it. And then I coached them on how to correctly implement time as a public health control for their sushi. And then, of course, I required follow-up visit or multiple to ensure logs and procedures were being followed and that we did not have any more 63-degree temperature moving forward. Now, there were some other observations as well. Some hot food on the buffet also temped out of range, so they voluntarily discarded and replaced it with food that they showed was within temp. They had a procedure to cover dishes when service was slow, but no one was ensuring it was followed. They used shallow pans, which minimized food waste when, they had to get rid of items or if they were ever out of temp. But despite making immediate corrections, These were critical violations. Improper hot holding, no time and temp records, these things cost them 5 points each on their inspection. And of course, it caused a drop in their letter grade. Being prepared is a full-time commitment. It requires proactive monitoring and corrective actions at your facility. Even with written procedures, you must identify food safety leaders who are trained and actively managing your processes. However, this was still a positive experience. The restaurant had the right intentions. They made immediate corrections and they had good foundational practices like using shallow pans and keeping cold holding units properly stocked. The lesson here: having a system in place helps you recover quickly and keep your business running. But you still may take a hit if you aren't actively doing it. Here is a chart that shows how this buffet could have addressed this issue if they were prepared and proactive versus how it happened, them being unprepared. Health inspections are not a one-time event. They reflect your daily operations. The more proactive you are, the smoother the process will be. Now, time for this week's challenge. I want you to conduct a mini self-inspection. You're going to check these 3 key things today. Number 1, expiration dates in your fridge. Number 2, cold storage temperatures. And number 3, staff food safety knowledge. Walking around quizzing them, asking them. And then I want as a bonus for you to practice corrective actions. Train your team on one weak spot that you found. And then make sure you come back and comment and let us know what you discovered and how you corrected it. Now that you have been prepped for your next inspection, know that every successful food business has a system, and food safety should be part of it. With the right game plan, inspections become a routine check-in, not a stressful event. Now go into the week knowing you got this. Your business, your reputation, and your customers deserve excellence. Stay proactive, stay prepared, and I will see all of you all next Monday.